Everyone. I've talked a lot about my sewing cabinet and how unique it is. It was originally designed for a Singer Athena 2000. I have modified it for the use of my Kenmore free arm machines. I don't have any other cabinets. My son has one, my daughter has one. Those are in another room. This is the only cabinet I have. It is big. It is twice as long as most cabinets. A lot of them have the fold-out leaf, putting the machine kind of all the way to the right side, and then having the fold-out leaf. But I want to just give you a tour of this cabinet, some modifications that I've done to it, some of my plans in the future. I do have another of these cabinets. This one is a little in a bit rough shape up top. The other one I'm stripping all the way down to bare wood and then refinishing it with some additional modifications and a bit nicer than I have this. So the first thing that I've done is I've drilled some holes for some grommets. It allows me to mount some lights and have all of the cables and everything internal to the cabinet. It's just really nice to be able to just have that. And I don't like having a lot of cords dangling on either side. I'm not a minimalist, but I do like a clean look. So let me open this up. You can see that I have the Kenmore 1914 in there. And so I do need to move this out of the way so that I can move it up and it doesn't scratch my machine. Like a lot of other machines, it just lifts up. There's spring-loaded tension in there. But what's really cool about this is this little lever down here. These were originally screwed in. I replaced it with bolts that go all the way through. And then there's Loctite on those to help hold them in place. These do come off. These cabinets are 50 plus years old. But this is what's really cool about this cabinet and why I love it. There you go. The cabinet is now in free arm mode, and look at that working space. Compared to most other free arm cabinets, at least the convertible ones, most of the time you have the front that folds down, maybe it pulls out of the way. You don't usually have a whole lot of space to work. This has just an enormous amount of space to the left of the machine to switch it back. Put your bed back on. That snaps back into place. We'll make sure that it's snapped. And let's go inside. Okay, for starters, this cabinet has a massive amount of storage on the doors. A lot of cabinets have a little thing that folds out in front, or drawers. This has everything at the ready. So one of the first differences you see on the inside here is I have some magnetic knife strips. On the one side I use that to hold my bobbins. Originally there were 4 racks for thread. The top one was broken, and I decided to take advantage of that space for my bobbins. It keeps them organized, it keeps them right there in reach. It makes it so that I can switch really quickly. And then on the other side are all of my presser feet and the top plate or feed dog plate. Those are strategically placed because they're thin and they don't get in the way of this upright right there. I've got pretty much everything I need there. All of my presser feet for this machine are right there. And then I've got quick access to a lot of other things. I've put, I've got scissors and then rotary cutter. You can see my serger fits down there in that space. It's not a big serger, but it fits really nicely in that. I do have a lot of space nowadays, but I still like to have everything that I use on the regular basis pretty much contained. We'll go down in here, and I don't know if you can see it, but I've got a power strip in there. It also has some USB ports for charging. Like my lamp, it just plugs into the USB. So I can have various USB things plugged in there if I want some additional lights. It's really nice. There's one cord that comes out of the cabinet because it can be moved fairly easily. Now, I'm a tall guy. I'm 6'3" and change. I have very long legs. I don't fit under a lot of cabinets. This one I do really easily, and I have it lifted up a little bit more. You can see that it's on coasters. This cabinet originally came on coasters. They just weren't the greatest. So these are a bit more beefy coasters. I've got them on some 1-inch blocks to raise it up just a little bit more. And they do lock in place, which is nice when you're on a hardwood to keep your sewing cabinet from moving around. And then there is a cross brace in there that was not original. I put that in there. This was kind of splaying a bit on the bottom. It was coming apart. I had to use some wood glue, some screws, clamps, a few things to get it back, held back together. And then one of the other things that's here is a knee controller. I did have one mounted here originally. Most of the, I call them clamshell type, the old metal, I guess they call them toaster type, that you typically find with a cabinet, that would need to be mounted along this wall here. And that would put me not in the place that I want to be for using the sewing machine. The sewing machine is quite a bit more to the left than in a lot of cabinets, but still I want to be able to be right in the middle. I don't like using a foot pedal for a lot of it. I work with a lot of large, long fabric, and the foot pedal can be a little tough on the ankles at the end of the day. And I'll show what this looks like mounted in here. So it looks like that focused okay. This is the controller. It is a box type controller, and I can mount that. I could have mounted that anywhere along here. I put it where I liked it the most, and I can very easily pull up in here. You can see my leg just fits underneath there. But it's not enough to cause me any issues. When it's converted to flatbed mode, this folds down to be level with that. It doesn't go down any further than it. And I can just move my knee. I don't have it on. Turn it on there, and the cabinet also really makes for a quiet machine. Versus this machine is really quiet on its own. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I can't think of anything else I've done to it. But the cabinet just has massive amounts of storage. You open it up, you have access to everything you need, and when you don't, everything goes away. I was going to say the other advantage of the knee lever is I don't have to fiddle with the foot when I'm putting stuff away or if I want to move it. Everything goes away, and when you're not using it, it really removes a lot of the clutter. I'm not going to show you my desk for work behind it. I have too many projects going on, and it is absolutely cluttered. I'm getting ready to move my office into the room next door. We've had a canning kitchen that the original owner built, and I'll be converting it into the office, and this is going to get turned into a spare bedroom. So my office is a bit of a disaster right now, but that's my cabinet. This will work with any of the Kenmore free arms. It'll work with a lot of other standard bed free arms. It's just a wonderful, wonderful cabinet.